Hey everyone, as promised I am going to start doing as many reaction videos as possible on Wednesdays. As you can tell, this is going to be the ghost attacks on surveillance footage. I hope you enjoy it. This was done by Mindseed TV. Let's get down there. I've got the description in the link below, and yeah, I'm still not centered, but I'll give up with trying to center myself. So make sure you check them out, subscribe to them, like their videos, and without further ado, let's get into it.
We're going to be reviewing some of the most shocking videos I've found on the internet in recent months. Let this be a warning for anybody that wishes to continue.
Okay.
This is truly the stuff of nightmares.
Down the rabbit hole.
Number 1. This video was taken by a static camera set up by the owner of this home, who had been repeatedly experiencing strange events such as moving objects and misplaced objects throughout their home. If you look closely at the coffee table, you notice the remote seemed to move to the right on its own. Following that, you see the TV turn on. If you pay closer attention to the TV, you'll notice a shadow moving from right to left. With no people or objects present to cast that shadow, this event seems very peculiar.
But there must have reflection of...
Let's take a closer look at this and analyze some of this activity. Here it can be seen the shadow passing from the left to the right.
Yeah.
The reflection in the TV shows you the placement of the couch and the table. Notice that the shadow being cast appears to be walking between the table and the couch. At this point, you see the remote gently slide to the right. The TV then turns on, eliminating the possibility of this being a pre-recorded video. Some strange rolling white static seems to be playing on the TV during the duration of this clip.
Then you see something moving up and down here in the
And finally,
TV.
we see the same shadow move from right to left, walking the same path between the table and the couch that we saw earlier.
Interesting.
The source of this video is unknown, just something I found interesting while cruising the dark depths of the internet.
I can't
Number
explain
2.
that one.
This video was sent to me by a paranormal activity enthusiast that we use from time to time on Mindseed to go through our footage and find things that we may have missed during our investigations. In this video, it appears as if a middle-aged woman is out during the evening watering her plants. If you look in the bottom left of the screen, you see a strange figure appear. This figure standing there, motionless, seems to be the shadow from someone who is possibly standing out of frame.
Yeah,
But what we're about to witness as she walks along the flower bed while watering her plants seems to lend itself to maybe another explanation for the phenomenon we're experiencing. The shadow, attached to no other objects or people, seems to follow her. The figure appears to be at least semi-transparent. Notice the gravel that you can see through the base of the figure. As she turns around, she faces her flashlight directly at the figure. Notice how the dark figure doesn't disappear when in direct light. Nor does the outline of the figure distort when the flashlight is shined upon it.
This one's going to be a lot harder to debunk than the one a couple of weeks ago.
What we see next is the figure begin to follow her, staying far enough behind as if it doesn't want to be noticed, but moving completely independently.
The only way I can think of that is if they put someone in a green suit or
Number 3.
something.
This video was taken on a cell phone by an employee of this hospice, who was all alone one night when he began hearing noises from what he assumed to be a vacant hallway.
Oh, what the hell is
Upon
that?
further investigation, he opened the door to peer down the hallway, when he notices a figure peeking out of a doorway in what appears to be a playful manner. Upon closer inspection, you can see the figure, as it appears, it begins to flicker, as if it's some sort of progression.
Come on.
As it steps into the hallway, you'll notice that it appears to be semi-transparent. The neck and head of the figure seem to be elongated, in what looks like some type of earthworm Jim fashion.
Film Jim. I remember that. It would be adverts, wouldn't it?
You can only imagine the kind of ice-cold fear coursing its way through this employee's veins. To be there alone at night, definitely not for the faint of heart.
It looked like E.T. in that scene in the cupboard where its head goes dong. As you can see, I've got my Ramstein t-shirt on again for all you lovely people who actually watched my video on Friday. Bum bum. Hey, that is just so weird.
Number 4. What you're about to witness on this video can only be described as an assault. A violent, aggressive act committed against these two gentlemen by what appears to be some poltergeist-like entity.
What the hell? Rambo it, there's two of you, Rambo it.
If we slow it down, you can see the first point of contact. As the gentleman in front reaches the top step of the descending staircase, he's met with an onslaught of violent blows, being delivered by an attacker he cannot defend himself against. He's immediately taken down and mounted by this entity. He then endures a very brief but very aggressive session of some paranormal ground and pound. He and the other gentlemen finally find their feet and sprint away in sheer
But he
terror,
only attacked him, he
just
didn't
as the
attack his
entity
friends,
seems to
so
disappear into thin air.
was he linked to something that could have annoyed it? Maximum 2 grain camera. Hang on a second. It looks like it's in a dress. Look, there's the hem and it comes up. You've got a little bit of longer hair here. But 2 grain camera, you can't really expect much better than that, can you?
Number 5. This video was created by a Russian paranormal investigator named Tim Morozov. In recent months, he's become well known for investigating some very creepy, very haunted locations, and also for his use of very unorthodox yet very creative devices to assist him in detecting paranormal phenomena, such as this EMF and motion detector that he's retrofitted inside of a porcelain doll. It appears that he's all alone in this house as he sets up his static cameras. He places them in position to capture all angles of the room around him while he's sleeping. He then gets himself ready for bed, jumps into his sleeping bag, and falls asleep.
As you do when you're in a
Hours
sleeping
after he's
bag.
fallen asleep, the static cameras begin to capture some very interesting activity.
What's it doing with that glass?
Watch the motion of the cup. It rolls around on the table in a controlled fashion as if someone has an open palm on it, guiding it back and forth.
You want a drink, son? Just pick it up and go to the tap.
Moments later, the static camera on the opposite side of this wall captures footage of a dining chair sliding across the carpet effortlessly on its own. Then something begins to interfere with the audio of the camera. The wardrobe door then swings open. Having experienced this personally before, I know how disorienting it is. To wake up and subconsciously notice subtle changes in the room around you. Try and put yourself in his shoes and imagine how he's feeling when he wakes up, turns on his flashlight, and reviews the footage.
Well, what can I say about that? I couldn't explain any of them the way I did any of the others in my last reaction video. The TV one, well, what can you do about that? I mean, who wants to watch TV and stuff? So, let it, ain't hurting nobody. I don't know how they could have faked that. I mean, the shadow could have been a light in the background and someone in a like walked past and they videoed it over, but I just don't get how they could have done that. It would have been hours and hours of editing, and nobody has time for that. The shadow ghost, it could have been someone in a green suit. There's plenty of people who own green suits now and pull pranks like that, but the woman didn't seem any of the wiser, and it was just totally weird how it happened. So again, that could be real. They all had something which just didn't seem like it was easily faked without going through months and months worth of planning and editing and retrying. It would have been like filming a whole movie for most of them, especially the ET one. I mean, what was that thing? It come out, it said went doing. Nobody can do that. I've never even seen another ghost video where it extends its neck like that. So maybe it's an alien, who knows. On that note, I will leave it right there. I do have my social medias all the way up above my head, as you can see, and in the description below. Make sure you check out Mindseed TV. They've got 1.38 million subscribers. Let's see if we can get up to 1.40 million. It'd be awesome. So, on that note, stay creepy, and remember, if it's not crappy, it isn't fun.